In this video, we will explore the parts of an APA citation. We're going to focus on books and ebooks, and we're going to be looking at APA 7th edition. There are two major forms of citation, the APA 7th edition. It doesn't really matter whether you're looking at a print book or an ebook anymore. The main thing we're concerned with is whether or not you have a DOI or do not have a DOI. We're going to explore each of these in more depth. The first citation we're going to look at is a book with a DOI. So a DOI is a digital object identifier and is usually a long string of numbers that begin with a 10-dot number. If you have a DOI, we're going to follow this first form. It is worth noting that in contrast to journal articles, DOIs are not as widespread for books at this point, but we will see more and more DOIs in the future. So if you don't see a DOI, don't fret, you're probably going to be using the second form. Let's explore the parts of this citation in more depth. An APA citation begins with the author and their initials. This is an example of a book by one author. Simply list the author's last name followed by the available initials. Do note that there is a space if you include two initials. This is then followed by the date of publication of the book. And then we're going to follow that with the title of the book. What you'll notice with APA in contrast to MLA is that APA follows sentence case. What this means is in APA you capitalize the first word of the title, and if you have a subtitle, which is indicated by a colon, you'll capitalize the first word of the subtitle, but all the other words are going to be lowercase. You'll also notice that the title is in italics. Following the title, you'll include the name of the publisher. One thing that you'll note is in the APA 7th edition, there is no longer a need to include the city or the state of the publication. After the name of the publisher, we're going to include the DOI. The form of the DOI that is recommended starts with an HTTPS, doi.org, then / and then the individual DOI. One of the biggest changes for the 7th edition is that you can now have hyperlinks in your reference list citations. Now we're going to explore how to cite books and ebooks without a DOI. If you pulled a book in print or an ebook from an academic research database, so if you go into your library catalog and access an ebook there, this is the form of citation that you'll need to include. One of the major differences between the 6th edition of the APA manual and the 7th edition of the APA manual that came out in October of 2019 is you no longer need to include a retrieve from statement for ebooks from academic research databases. Let's explore the components of this citation in a little bit more depth. This is an example of a book that is authored by 3 people. You include the individual's last names and then follow that with the available initials. Please keep this in the original order of the authors that you see on the book itself. Do note that there is still a space between the initials. We follow this with the year of publication, and then we follow this with the title of the book. Again, this is sentence case, so you'll capitalize the first word and the first word after the subtitle, but all the other words are going to be lowercase unless of course you have a proper noun like somebody's name. Follow this with a period, and then very simply at the end of the citation include the name of the publisher and put a period. That's it. We hope this video was helpful in getting you started on citing books with DOIs and without DOIs. If you have any questions or you're interested in additional citation materials, please check us out at library.usca.edu. Happy searching!